Hey everyone, how are you doing? I hope that you are having an amazing day today. Today is day 4, and we're going to talk all about exercise. And I know that sometimes exercise gets a little confusing because, there's so many, do this workout, do that workout, don't do this, don't do that, lift heavy, don't lift heavy, do cardio, don't do strength, blah, too much. So today, I'm just going to try to summarize that for you so we can kind of get you started and get you right off on the right foot, or even get you kind of, your head on straight if you are currently exercising. So we all know we should exercise, right? But why? One of the best things about exercise is that our heart is a muscle, and without our heart and without our brain, we're pretty much dead. So the more we can exercise our heart, it's overall better health benefits, lower blood pressure, less likely to gain weight, more likely to fire off great feeling endorphins, lower cholesterol, all those great healthy things that our doctors like check off in the box when we're going in for our annual physical. But the other thing about exercising is that it increases our metabolic rate. And so many people will be like, I have a shitty metabolism, I have a fast metabolism, slow thyroid, whatever. And exercise is one of the few things naturally that you can do to increase your natural metabolic weight without taking a pharmaceutical. And a pharmaceutical isn't the end all be all because, it's kind of like a domino. You take one pharmaceutical, but then, you have another, it breaks down other things. So exercise, it's free, and it's, relatively easy to do. It helps you lose weight. It's proven to help you lose weight, and also helps you build muscle. So the biggest thing that I miss in some of these fad diets that you see is that they'll be the first person to tell you, oh, eat this, and then there's no talk about exercise, or it's kind of like a postscript exercise. And exercise, and I've mentioned this I think every day in this conversation, is that nutrition is queen, exercise is king. You need the king and you need the queen in order to have that the healthy life that you're looking for. And so with exercise, most people, especially women, fall to cardio. And cardio is not the holy grail. It's not. I wish it was, because it's easy. You can go outside, go for a walk. You can go outside, go for a run. But there needs to be a balance of strength, and especially for us ladies, because with us ladies, we are prone to osteoporosis. And osteoporosis is when your bones start to disintegrate. When we strength train, literally, if this is my bone and this is my muscle attaches to my bone. The more I strength train, the more that muscle holds on to that bone, the stronger that bone has to become. The stronger bones I have, the less likely I am to have osteoporosis. Me not having osteoporosis means the less likely I am to break something as an older adult. My goal in life is to not break my hip, not break my arm, not do any of that, so I'm going to strength train. The other thing about strength training is that as we age, just part of the natural aging process, our muscles start to break down. So it's usually around, I want to say the latest research says around 35, we start to, between in our teens to 35, that's like our peak muscle building age. And then after 35, you can still do it. It just gets a little harder, like everything as you age. But you're still able to strength train. And I love when I see these stories of there's this woman, I think she's in her 80s, and she just started doing CrossFit. And is she going to be in the CrossFit games? No. But she's going to the gym. They're modifying things for her, but she's still working out. She's still training. She is strength training. And I just think that's amazing. There's another woman who's I think she's in her 70s or 80s, and she's like a bodybuilder. I just love seeing that because, there is muscle there. It'll take a little longer for you to get there, but you can still build muscle. So what I really wanted to, so let's just break down where I wanted to go. So you need strength, you need cardio. How much do you need to do of it? And so I was looking up at the latest research. So ACSM is the American College of Strength Medicine. Is kind of one of the leading research bodies out there around, personal training. And they said that for strength, you need anywhere from 3 to 4 days. And then for cardio, you need anywhere from 2 to 3 days. So what does that look like? I say to people, those are guidelines, okay? Those are true guidelines. And then I say to you, really be realistic about your time. If you are someone who can't get that 4 to 5 days, then let's figure out what you can do and be okay with that. If you're someone who can do more, that's awesome. But I want you to kind of look at, there is a fine line between optimal and over. And, I have a good friend who's an overtrainer. I have a lot of clients who are overtrainers, and it's really hard for them to stop exercising. It's become part of their identity. And I want you to know that in the rest comes the recovery, and in the recovery comes the results. So every time that you exercise, there are little micro tears in your muscle, and those micro tears need time to heal. And it's in the healing that, so if say your muscles are this, and then every time I work out, my micro tears, and I got to build it a little stronger. My micro tears got to build it a little stronger, so on, so on, so on, so on. So now I have this nice strong muscle. I need my body, just like we need sleep. Our body needs that in order to repair the little micro tears. Now the little micro tears, it's a natural process. So it's not like you're actually tearing something, but I can't think of another word to describe it. And it's during that rest and recovery is when you really start to build those muscles. And so I tell people that you need at least 1 day. I'm talking 1 day. You don't do Bo Jackson, nada. Your idea of a workout is you're walking into the kitchen, you're walking around your house, nothing strenuous. It's just a pure day of rest. And be realistic. This is where, I talked earlier in the week. This is where people are like, oh, I'm working out 6 days a week and I'm doing boot camp and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, blah, 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 blah. And then come February, you're burnt out because that 0 to 60 wasn't sustainable for you. And I want you to think about what is sustainable for the long term, so that when we're talking 6 months now, 12 months from now, I can say, hey, how you doing? Like, I haven't seen you in 6 months, and you were doing really well. And I want you to be like, oh my God, I'm doing awesome. I've been able to add a couple days, or, I'm still at the same pace that I was, but it feels great. Like, that's what I want. I want the sustainability. And for me, when I was competing, I was working out like six days a week for sure. 6 days a week I was working out. And I was in the gym like 1 to 2 hours a day. And, some people thrive on that. Some people, that can be their life. I don't have the mental stamina to do that anymore. I don't. For me, the max workout I do is an hour. Like that's all the mental stamina that I have. And that is me doing strength and cardio. In 1 hour. I typically recommend for my clients, ideally that they do strength before cardio. But if you're someone who will always come up with an excuse not to do cardio after, then I say do cardio before the strength. It's just how it is. Can you separate them into 2 separate days? Absolutely. Totally your call. I have clients that work out at lunch. So it's like really all they can do is one or the other, so they can easily squeeze in some cardio, they could squeeze in some strength. So, do what you have to do. As far as classes, classes are awesome. I teach group fitness. So I just say, make sure you're getting a variety in your class. Make sure you're taking a strength training class, make sure you're taking a cardio class, make sure whatever the combination, whatever, just make sure you're not just taking just cardio based classes, but there is some strength to it. And, we were talking earlier in the week, I think it was yesterday, I can't remember, about your Fitbit. One of the things I always encourage my clients is that, on the days that you know that you're not able to go to the gym, really, like if you have a Fitbit, really focus on those 10,000 steps. Last year I was away for 30 days, and I think I worked out like 4 times in 30 days. Like that's the longest I've ever gone without working out like solidly. And during that time, I walked a shit ton. Like I was, you know, my husband like barely gets 10,000 steps. And we were easily like getting 15 to 30,000 steps because we just walked everywhere that we went. And so I encourage you to like really build in walking into those days, because it's extra acts of daily living. And don't, you know what, when you work out, I want you to think about the intensity of the workouts. So what I mean by intensity is that as you're working out, I want you, you know, if this is strength, I want you to pick weights that if you say do the last 2 to 3 reps feel challenging with good form. So that if you're doing, you know, a bicep curl, I'm able to fully bring my arm up and I'm able to fully extend my arm to the end. But I don't want to kind of like get to like here because I want to lift the heavier weight. Or I don't want to be able to lift such a small weight that I'm able to just like whip out the reps, right? I want to be able to pick that weight that the last few reps feel challenging, but with good form. Good form will always trump how heavy the weight is. I always see people like, you know, with the crappiest form, but lifting like 4 million pounds. Why? If I get a better workout by paying attention to my form. That way later on I don't have an injury. Injuries suck. Injuries put you on the sidelines, and you know no one wants to be sitting on the sidelines, because that's usually when we stop, because we get out of the habit of working out. The other thing when I'm doing my cardio is that I want to be at a pace in my cardio that I feel a little breathless. So what I mean by that is that you're panting. Not like, oh my God, get the AED off the wall, but you're panting, and that, you know, if you need to like recover, you can kind of just, you know, push the button down or stop for a few moments and then get back on. The reason why I say all this is because what you're looking for is that post-workout burn. They call it EPOC. And you want that. That's where all the goodness lives. The goodness lives if you're going to work out, like, you know, I want you to get the most bang for your buck. And to get the most bang for your buck, you need to put in the work. You know, I have people who come to my class and they're like, oh, Kim, you know, I don't really come to your class that much anymore. And I'm like, oh, wow, what's going on? I said, well, I go to your class and I sweat. Why are you working out if you're not sweating? You know, I want there to be a little perspiration on your brow. I want you to feel a little breathless. I want those last 3 reps to be challenging, because that's where the change is going to happen. And I want every few weeks you're increasing your weight. Every few weeks, you know, you're changing something in your routine so that you're not doing the same routine over and over and over and over again, like, and you've never changed it. Because your body is adaptable, and your body likes change. It requires change in order to change. You know, your body's very smart, your body's very adaptable, and your body will be like, oh, she's gonna get in the 3rd treadmill and she's gonna press program 5 and we're gonna go for 25 minutes and she's gonna watch the Kardashians. What if you change that? Where if you went to treadmill number 1, you punched in program number 10 and you didn't watch Kardashians, you just watched how fast you can go, bring it back, how fast you can go, recover, how fast you can go, recover, and in 20 minutes you kicked your own ass, right? Very different scenario than like the girl who I see on the treadmill who's like holding on, watching the Kardashians, and I'm like, why are you holding on? And most of your workouts, I mean, you can seriously, I worked last year with one of my mentors. He developed a 15-minute workout, and let me tell you, in those 15 minutes, he kicked my ass. So it's possible, like if you put in the intensity, you can kick your own ass in less time. The last thing I want to leave you with is that I don't want you to fall victim to, I ate this, so now I got to burn it off. Your body doesn't work that way. It's not how your body's designed to work. If you ate in excess, own it. Own that shit. Own that you ate in excess, and that today's a new day, and it's not about guilt, it's not about burning it off, it's not about anything, you know. So when you see those things posted all over social media that like, oh, if you eat 3 Oreos, you can burn it off with 20 burpees. I say bullshit. You ate 3 Oreos, own it, and then just go on with the rest of your day. There's no burning it off. There's no calculator inside of your body that's saying, oh, Sylvia had 3,000 calories, so Sylvia, go and hop on the elliptical, and I'll tell you when you burnt those 3,000 calories off. That just doesn't work. And a quick segue, those calorie counters at the gym, they're lying. I worked at a gym for 10 years. We literally just pulled them out of the package. We don't do anything other than what the manufacturer does. So, you know, even if you put in your height and your weight, we never do the gym doesn't do anything to recalibrate those machines. And I've worked at this gym for 10 years, and some of those ellipticals are like 15, 20 years old. Just saying. So that's all I got for exercise. Tomorrow is Friday, and tomorrow is all about mindset. And you know, we talked about all the kind of like the foundational pieces, but mindset, that is the stuff. That is what's going to keep you going. So I will be back again tomorrow to talk about that. As always, if you have any questions, for sure, leave them in the comments. In your action guides, I've put some questions for you to answer in there to help you kind of figure out what's going to work best for you. If you have not gotten your action guide, all you got to do is email me, and I'll make sure that you get those. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And as always, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Talk soon.